Let's now invite to discuss how firefighting efforts are going and what more is needed is Kevin McMullen, President, Canadian Association of Fire Chiefs. He is also the fire chief in Red Deer, Alberta. Good evening and thank you for your time.
Good evening. Thank you.
Two provinces have declared a state of emergency, sir. Manitoba and Saskatchewan. Alberta is also battling wildfires in the northern communities. Talk to us about the efforts underway right now to douse these infernos.
Yeah, as you've seen and your reports have just continued to show, this is a forever rapidly changing event. We are getting updates at moment's notice of all of the changes within our communities. Right now across the country, we're seeing about 167 wildfires all across this country. There's not a province or territory that's not being impacted with the exception of Prince Edward Island. We've got a lot of fire. It's early on in the season and we've got a lot of work to do.
The Canadian Armed Forces have also been called in to sort of, help in this situation. Talk to us about this joint effort underway.
Yeah, this isn't new. We've certainly relied on the Canadian Armed Forces in the past. I think what's a challenge, and I think it's important to remind your listeners and viewers, is the Canadian Armed Forces, they're not firefighters. They do a lot of great stuff. We utilize them in a lot of capacities, but they're not firefighters. We rely on the men and women, both the wildland firefighting crews in our communities, as well as those that come from a municipal background, our structural firefighters, of which we at the Canadian Association of Fire Chiefs, we oversee those individuals from a coordination perspective. The Canadian Armed Forces, we know that they bring a lot of assets to it and they bring some work to it. What they don't bring is the firefighting capabilities. We need better coordination in this country, and that's what we're talking about at a national level. Okay, Chief, how stretched, honestly, are you feeling at the moment, looking at the number of fires you have just told us and how widespread they are? Yeah, we're very stretched very early on. Every time we turn on and we see another update of another fire in a community, it just puts more and more pressure on the limited resources that we already have. From a structural firefighting perspective, there's 126,000 firefighters in this country. But of that, 80,000 of those are volunteers. Men and women that, when asked to support in these wildfires, are walking away from likely another commitment in their community. Their own businesses, their family obligations, they don't always have the capabilities of doing these for long stretches. Unfortunately, the fires of 2023, 24 are just pre-indicators of what we are preparing for 2025. And it's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of people to get through this coming fire season. In other developments, apart from, of course, these wildfires, we know that the Canadian Interagency Forest Fires Centre has raised the alarm level to 5. Was this expected to happen so early in the year? It's not to be expected this early in the year. We had a meeting with CFC earlier this morning. We're talking about how to coordinate differently. I'll remind you that the municipal side, we need a national fire administration in this country. We need somebody at the municipal level doing exactly what the great work is that our colleagues in wildfire are doing. We need that same coordination for municipalities, provinces, and territories that we don't have. We've been talking about this for a while, National Fire Administration. Why do you think that hasn't really happened yet? There's so many answers to that. I think sometimes change in government plays a part in that. Change of ministers plays a part in that. Sometimes we have to re-educate the processes. But we're okay. We're going to stay steadfast in that commitment. We are practical. We're not political. We are going to work with any government that's sitting ready to help and assist Canadians in the fire service. And we believe that the National Fire Administrator is needed now more than ever. And we've got some solutions that we can present anytime. Ken McMullen, President of Canadian Association of Fire Chiefs. I appreciate you joining us tonight, sir. Thank you. Thank you to you and your listeners. Stay safe. To other news making headlines, turning to a major update on a manhunt in Pickering, Ontario, after an elderly woman was stabbed to death earlier today.